Hi, I'm Karen Harrison. Welcome to the October 21st, 2019 Reiki Call, where we talk about all things Reiki and share our Reiki experiences and create Reiki community. I'm glad you're here to join us. My website is www.karenharrison.net, and you can find me on YouTube at Karen Harrison Reiki. I'll be sending everyone a copy of this recording who is on my email list. You can sign up again on my website, or you can find me on iTunes under Reiki Call. And my YouTube channel, I will be uploading it there also. So joining us tonight is Patricia from Florida. So welcome. I'm glad you're here. You want to say hi?
Hi, everybody.
Okay. And I was just talking to Patricia. She just took 8 days of Reiki classes with my wonderful colleague, Colleen Benelli in Portland, Oregon. You wanted to say what you thought of all those amazing classes with Colleen?
Well, I just think that Colleen has a very nice way about her that's calming and supportive. And I just think that the whole organization itself just kind of holds you and supports you in a lot of ways that other organizations don't, from providing the forms for you to your clients and develop a whole history. And it's very, very contemplative, transformational, and I think puts you at peace when you can just have a regular practice. So I found the classes just sort of took me to maybe another level because before, so it was a repeat. But I think anytime you have a new instructor and reintroduce material, that you pick up things that you didn't the first time.
Absolutely. It's always wonderful to repeat a class. And
Yeah.
yes, Colleen is great.
And doing an intensive like that, I think does a lot to boost your confidence and your ability to just feel like you're on the right path, build camaraderie, which is important. So all really great.
Well, yay.
Yay.
Yes. I know. I've taken all my classes several times. And one of the fun things that I get to do as a mentor teacher is I get to co-teach with my student teachers. So I always learn something from them too, which, that's fun to see different styles. And
Well, we had a gal named Pam Allen there, and she's developing a course on Reiki for animals. And it was interesting to see it from that perspective too. So it was good.
Yes, Pam LeBlanc from Canada. Yes, one of our teachers that is working her way through the student teacher program. So wonderful. Yes, well, I am heading to Houston later this week to teach Karuna Reiki Master, and then I'll be going to Dallas to teach Reiki Master there. And yeah, the International Center for Reiki Training, we just keep expanding. And we have recently recruited several new mentor teachers. So I'm excited about that. We've been taking in a number of student teacher applications, and we have room for a few more since, we've been recruiting and training mentor teachers, because the ICRT is really about training the teachers who will go out and train more teachers to spread Reiki around the world and blanket the world with peace and an amazing life tool for stress reduction and relaxation and solving problems. So, well, I like to start with whoever is on the call and see if you have any questions or anything that you would like to share before I go to the list of questions that people have sent to me. Any questions, Patricia?
No, I'm here to listen. I'm still pondering all the information coming at me. And I thought, well, if I just listen and chill, that's a good thing too.
Yes. Okay. All right. Well, Emily wrote me a question. Oh no, that I answered that one. Okay. So someone asked about becoming a Reiki Holy Fire Master. If you do that, can you still teach Usui Reiki? The reason I ask is my friend teaches Usui classes, and sometimes I assist her. So if you have had Usui Reiki Master, then you can teach that. And if you've had the Usui Holy Fire Reiki Master, you can teach that too. So you can teach as many different lineages of Reiki as you have the mastership in, with the knowledge of how to do the attunements, placements, ignitions, um, whatever is involved in your lineage of Reiki. So another question, I had a very unsettling session with a client yesterday. Someone referred her to me, and she feels that she and her children are possessed. So I used Reiki in my office prior to her coming in, but I wasn't prepared for a session like that. Yeah, that might be a little unsettling. I tried to clear myself before I got in the car. I'm planning to sage my office, but do you have any other suggestions? I prayed a lot and sent distance Reiki to her home. So with Holy Fire Reiki, we have an amazing tool at the master level called Healing Spirit Attachments. Now, that's something that I offer to probably, I don't know, at least 3/4 of my clients when I do sessions on them, because I explain it's about clearing off any unwanted energy, any energy that's not yours, clearing out blockages to you achieving your highest good, because we don't know what we might have picked up. It could be even just thought forms. One person that I did the healing spirit attachments on had spent a lot of time feeling resentful of some family responsibilities, and it had grown very weighty on her. And when I went in to do the healing spirit attachments, I was shown that she had this huge energy of resentment all around her that was very heavy. And this energy was actually attracting more resentment energy, and causing her to be angry and unhappy. So the healing spirit attachments exercise actually went in and just melted that, disintegrated it, lifted off of her. And, within a few days, she was so much happier, felt lighter, looked better, looked younger. And I've had many amazing experiences with this exercise, and it's quick and easy. It only takes about maybe 15 to 20 minutes to do. And for example, in Reiki class, when I teach it, I do it for the whole class all at once. When I do it for a client, I can do it for my client. I can do it for a family member that they would like to have it done for. And I can do it for their home all at the same time. Now, Reiki respects free will, and it's not going to do anything that is against anyone's, free will or guidance. So, in my prayers, I'm just intending that if this is for the person's highest good, and they are open to it, then let that be done. And if not, then it just will not have any effect on the person. So one of my, well, I had someone contact me about doing a house clearing, and this is something that would really be great to do for house clearings. You know, if you feel like your house has a ghost or something in it, and I know sometimes people are scared about doing that. I had one of my students say that she was a cleaner, not an exterminator, you know. You know, exterminating, implying I don't do ghost busting, but you know, I will clean stagnant and stuck energy. But I suggested to her, you know, before I sent her out to do the space clearing on some old property, you know, because I don't have time to go do all that myself, so I delegated it. I suggested that she do the healing spirit attachments exercise on the house, you know, the outlying houses around it, because this was quite some large property, on the land around it, and on the people that had recently moved in there, you know, just for good measure. And that way, you know, she wouldn't walk into something, so to speak, you know, or encounter something that, I don't know, might potentially be scary or unsettling to her. And gosh, another example was my daughter contacted me and said that when she and her roommates were at work, when they came home, there were 2 gas burners on that were not lit, and a light on that they had not left on, and she was worried about a ghost being in there. So I did the healing spirit attachments for her apartment, and they haven't had any more of those incidents since. And as the practitioner, you know, you don't have to know what it is you're releasing or see it or know why it was there. Um, with a Holy Fire Reiki, it's so easy. All you do is read the script, which is a series of prayers and Reiki with some time in the silence, and let Spirit do the work. So I guess, Patricia, back to you. Have you used this healing spirit attachments exercise
Yeah,
at all yet?
we did it when we were at Colleen's, and I thought it was really wonderful. And I had done it a couple of times with my own practice. The
Uh-huh.
thing I'm curious about, though, to ask you is I can see in a situation where the first example you gave, you had mentioned somebody who had anger all around them. I was just wondering, is that something that maybe you might have to heal several times before it actually takes?
Ah, okay, good question. So sometimes it does take more than one because there may be multiple layers and things that need to be cleared. Um, so generally I tell people, you know, if there's some issue, you know, we need to probably do the healing spirit attachments maybe 3 times, you know, just to make sure that we are getting everything. Um, you know, but it kind of depends on the results too. You know, how is the person feeling after you've done it? You know, I did one a couple weeks ago for my client and her son who has addiction problems and has made a lot of bad choices as an adult. Um, and she reported that within a couple of days, he was so much more positive. He was feeling so much happier. But I think it would be good to do another round of that for him, you know, just to see what happens. Um, now, there have been situations where I have done it many, many times. I had another friend that I did it for over 10 times, and it would help her for a little while, but then all the benefits seem to have just disappeared. So in that case, what I'm wondering is the person calling back the negative energy, or calling in new negative energy? I mean, they can't actually call back the same negative energy with this experience, because part of the experience is taking that energy and healing it with the love of God, and forgiveness. So it's healed, but the person has free will, and they can call more negative energy to them. um,
I
and then
remember.
another thing I've wondered is this person got spirit attachments, or are they psychotic, or both?
Yeah. Well, I just remember at one point hearing a quote where Peter asked Jesus, "How many times do I have to forgive my brother?" And he said 77 times 7 or something like that. And I had spoken to a priest about that. And I think that sometimes somebody might be angry and forget that they forgave, or feel like they were healed and forget that they were healed and fall back into old patterns. So that was what made me think, in terms of the Reiki, moving away the layers and healing old patterns, that sometimes it takes several times just to, maybe create a new pathway for that energy to flow.
Hmm. Yes. Well, I think there can be multiple layers of things, and the healing spirit attachments, they may not be able to get it all in one.
And a one-shot deal.
You know, I mean, I've I've had clients report a lot of really amazing results with just one, but certainly I've done it on myself multiple times. So there's spirit attachments that we may have been carrying with us throughout our lifetime. Hi, Yolanda. Thanks for joining us. We're talking about healing spirit attachments. So there may be spirits that we've had with us, for many years, that might have come in when we were wounded. There's spirit attachments that can come through our ancestral lineage. And as a marriage and family therapist, I see patterns like that all the time, where people are carrying patterns from their family of depression, or alcoholism, or sexual abuse, or poverty, or disease. These patterns just go down, through the family lineage. So there's that kind of spirit attachment. And then there's just negative energy that you pick up through going to a low energy place, like casinos, hospitals, nursing homes, where the energy can attach. And that energy is quicker and easier to clear. And that energy, may even clear on its own within a week or so. But some of this other stuff that has been around longer, that's where the healing spirit attachments exercise comes in handy to get things that might otherwise be hidden to us, that we might not know about, that can be causing us problems, and covering up our authentic self. So any reactions to that, Patricia?
No, I think it's good. I think it just depends on, what the energy is, because as you said, that sometimes there's an energy with you for a long time, and it might just take a little bit longer to clear. Somebody gets comfortable with that energy, and getting to the point where they can just release it, can be a big step, even if it's just temporary. And then maybe it gets to be a little bit longer and longer until it's finally gone for good.
Mm-hmm. Okay. All right. Okay. Well, hey, Yolanda, you used
Hi.
that have you used that healing spirit attachments exercise?
You know what? I did get a chance to use that early on. I haven't used it recently, but I did use it, and I found that it was very healing. Simply because I believe at the time there was some low energy
Mm,
surrounding me, if I recall. So with that, I did want to make sure that it had a place to just go and release. So I used it for for that part.
mhm.
Yeah, and I found it very useful. I think it was also maybe some past issues or maybe something negative that was attached with that. So I remember using it for that.
Yes. Because
Mhm.
our healing spirit attachments not only releases the energy that is not ours, it also heals the energy that is released, and it heals the part of ourselves that allowed the energy to attach there, so
Mhm.
that we can't have more attachments there. But all sorts of things can accumulate over time.
Mhm.
So, doing it periodically and whenever you feel, something going
Mhm.
on. I I recently did it for a relationship. I was having some conflict with a loved one, and I thought, well, I'm going to do it on the other person, on me, and on the relationship, because at the time I was feeling like there's some relationship demons in here. You know,
Mhm.
I don't know. I hadn't thought of doing it that way before or not, but I think it has helped. At least it helped me to shift my perspective.
Mhm.
So,
That's interesting that you say that because now that I think about it, there was something that I have been talking about recently to different people, and that was the releasing of. Um, Recently, I just left one job and I got a new one,
oh, congratulations.
and thank you. Um, and I just recall that when I had left there was a whole lot of things that I was not necessarily holding on to, but like you said, like that spirit attachment, like that negative spirit, because there was some of that was low energy. It
Mm,
was surrounding me, and I was processing so many different things surrounding that. And I'm glad that I'm able to make this call because using the healing spirit, spirit attachment, that's going to help because um, I had been I had been processing this, talking about it, journaling it, um, reflecting things like that, and I think this is going to be the last piece of the puzzle is to yes
mm,
make sure that this energy is released. So as I go move forward in and usher in new energy and it just I'm just really excited to uh, just to explore the entrepreneurial side and everything. I don't want that attached. So that's definitely an exercise I'm going to use that for sure.
great, great. Yes, but before you got on the call, I was saying that I offer that in probably about 75% of my sessions,
Mm-hmm.
with a
Mm-hmm.
person. I mean, not if I'm seeing the person over and over again, but
Mm-hmm.
when I'm seeing a new person, if I think that they wouldn't, be too freaked out by the whole thing. Um, but generally, the excuse me, the people that come to me are pretty open-minded. So
Mm-hmm.
I'll do that, plus the Holy Fire healing experience. Each one takes
Mhm.
around 15 minutes. And, after you clear off the unwanted energy, then often there's still maybe some areas of the person where they've got some hurt or, um, you know, blocked
Mhm.
energy. And so having them get involved in the Holy Fire healing experience, we're asking them, if this issue were somewhere in your body, where would it be? If it had a color, what color would it be? If it had a shape, what shape would it be? If it had a size, or let's see, a weight, color, size, texture. If it had a sound, what sound would it be? And then we do a short guided meditation and let the light of God shine on that area, and just let spirit do the work, which is always
Mhm.
beautiful. The feminine way of working, let spirit do all the work, and just give them Reiki while we're doing that. And again, amazing results. So that makes for a very powerful session, and the person's going to need to drink a bunch of water after that.
I love that one too. I know you've spoken to my colleague Peggy Gaines down here, and what we have been doing is before we start doing the meditation, is give it a number of 1 to 10 in terms of how much pain this is causing or how big the issue is, and oh my goodness, it's amazing. After it's all done and you get that number, I have never had it where it didn't go down significantly. And I love that. That's probably my favorite thing to do with Reiki when I'm doing one-on-one.
Yes, that is wonderful. Yeah, so asking the person, what is the emotional intensity of the situation, or what is your level of pain on a scale of 0 to 10, with 10 being the worst, and then re-rating it at the end. So yes, I use that tool in all my sessions, for whatever it is the person comes in with, so that I have an idea of
Mhm.
how it's going and they have an idea. And then that can tell me, all right, how did that work? And do we need to try something else on that issue? And, generally my goal is to get it to a 2 or a 0. And that may take a few sessions. Um, so I do a lot of work with trauma, whether it be emotional trauma or physical trauma, um, like sexual abuse or, gosh, just depression, guilt and grief over loss of loved ones, car accidents, um, even just moving away from loved ones, during your life, that can be pretty traumatic for a lot of people, and going and starting a new life in a new city. So, sending Reiki to clear those things. Okay, well, Yolanda, I was telling Patricia I like to give people on the call the chance to ask any questions or share anything that you want before I go to the questions that people have sent in. Do you have any questions or anything you want to share?
Well, now that I came in the middle of the spirit attachment, just a light went off. So I'm really glad that I joined the call to hear that. So with the spirit attachment, this is just a really general question, but um, do you also can you also offer that online? I mean, is that also something where it can be maybe like just a Reiki meditation, or is that something someone has to be in person for?
Oh, you mean, can you record it and
Uh,
offer it to the person later?
Either that or even be on a platform like we're on now, Zoom. Like if people are able to join this way, would that work? Or is it
Uh,
better for people to be in person?
well, I do them at a distance all the time.
Mm, okay.
As far as a recording, hmm, well, I don't know. I assume that would work. I haven't tried doing it on a recording and then, uh, seeing about that. But yes, I'll do it for people. If I'm doing a distance session, then usually I'll
Hmm.
have them on the phone, and I'll do it that way. But I think maybe I was sharing a little bit earlier about doing it from my daughter's apartment. And, I didn't have her on the phone. She just texted me and said, yikes, we're having these paranormal experiences in the apartment and help. So, yeah,
Yeah.
good question. Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
That's and I just have a comment before you get started. Is I like that you brought up or highlighted the fact that uh, there are low energy places like hospitals and casinos, places like that, because sometimes people don't really think about that, you know, and just some of the energy that could get attached or what you carry out in those places. So I think that's really good to do if you feel like you're going into a place that may have low energy or coming out of a place where you have low energy, where it has low energy, so that way you can just clear yourself and others that are around if they're open to that.
mhm. Yeah. So before I go to visit my mother in the nursing home, when I'm
Hmm.
in the elevator, I am literally powering myself up with my holy fire symbol. Because the holy fire symbol is this transforming flame that is going
Hmm.
to transmute the energy. Uh,
Hmm.
and before holy fire, the energy of the place just really bothered me, and I would feel very reluctant to go visit it. But
Hmm.
now it just feels like, I sail right through, and I will power up her room when I'm there and give her some Reiki when I'm there. And my students are sending her an hour of Reiki every week. So,
Hmm.
the energy in a room feels pretty good. And several of her caregivers have Reiki training. So, that's good too.
Hmm.
But every place has a vibration. Our homes, nature, um, nature is going to have a higher vibration than man created things, for the most part.
Hmm.
Natural beauty and places. And one of the fun things you can do is measure that. So I like, okay. So
Sorry.
that's all right. So one of the fun things I like to do is measure the vibration with muscle testing like this, and
Hmm.
just ask, on a scale of 0 to 1,000, what is the vibration of this place, of this room? Is it at least, 100, 200, 300, 400, 500, and so forth. And then when I get to a break, then, that's okay. So no, not 500. Is it at least 4.25, 450, and so forth like that. Now it does take some practice to check that out, but it's fun to see, like when I've checked, of course, places that are um, more lush and green, tend to have higher vibrations. Places that are drier, maybe lower. Places that have man-made things around them, tend to be lower. Um, but then there's desert areas with a lot of natural beauty, of course, like Sedona, Arizona.
Mhm.
Now that's got a very high vibration there. Um, so it just varies, but the more natural elements that you have, trees, water, um, mountains and hills, those places have the highest vibrations, and the vibrations of those places affect us and make us feel better or
Mhm.
worse. Um, I remember going to a museum and looking at paintings of a bunch of hauntings, and I remember the energy in that room just felt really bad. Uh,
Mhm.
and going in, I used to do in-home therapy in the inner city, and a
Mhm.
lot of those homes had really low energy. I was going in because the kids had been removed, and I was working with the parents um,
Mhm.
who had lost their kids, due to their circumstances. And yeah, a lot of lower vibrational places.
If someone is able to, and they're inclined to do so, also having sound, whether it's like Tibetan bowls or just something high vibrational. I did that over the weekend, when I was doing self Reiki sessions and just working on things. And I just had this particular music on with the entrainment, and I had it on like all weekend, all day.
Huh?
And I remember right before I went to sleep, I was looking around, and it looked like a Reiki mist, like that misty white that you
Uh-huh.
when
The Mist of
you called
Babylon.
it. Yes. And I saw that in the apartment, and I was just like, oh my goodness, that looks like the Reiki mist that when you call it in and you see it. But I was actually seeing it in the environment, and I was just like, well, what is going on? And I was thinking, well, it was the music that I had on. It that helped because it was just really high, uh, vi- just high vibrational, and it just played all day, just all day, to the point where I saw that white misty, like the Reiki. I call it Reiki mist. So I saw that in the apartment. I saw that in the environment, and so that just got me to thinking, um, how much how important that is to make sure that you keep your vibration high. You try to maintain it, and just striving for that. Just how important like that high vibration is, because it really does make a difference.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, so that's something I always teach, in my Reiki
Mhm.
classes about
Mhm.
space clearing and blessing, and, using high vibrational music, um, drawing the Reiki symbols on the four walls, ceiling, and the floor.
Mhm.
One of my students is painting his new home, and he sent a picture of the Reiki symbols he drew all over the wall. And then he's going to be painting over them. That vibration will still be there. That's another way to do it. So
Mhm.
lots of ways to raise the vibration in your place. You can
Mhm.
go around and chant the names of the symbols. You can,
Mhm.
play a drum and chant. You can play bells or Tibetan bowls. Um, you can sage it. You can spray essential oils. So tuning forks, that's another of my favorites, or incense.
Yeah. Mhm.
So, hey, we just have about 15 minutes left, and I like to have a silent portion where we are all sending each other some distance Reiki, and sending distance Reiki to whoever views this later. Um, so let's move into that, and then they'll come back uh, about towards the end, and, just say goodbye to everybody. So let's activate our Reiki. I'm just going to visualize the symbols on my hands. Okay, and just starting off with a prayer. Father, Mother, God, sweet Holy Spirit, we intend to activate our Reiki energy very powerfully. We intend to set our personalities and egos aside to be clear and open channels, only the highest and holiest Reiki energy. We intend to send this Reiki energy out to bless everyone on this call, everyone who views it later or listens to it. And also sending Reiki to everyone on the sending Reiki to everyone on the planet, sending Reiki to all bodies of water, to all of the land, to all of our world leaders, to create a world that works for everyone, full of love, peace, safety, food for all, shelter for all, abundance for all. And now we'll send Reiki in the silence. Okay, let's bring that to a close. Ah, Reiki energy always feels so good. Feels like it was just washing over me in a blanket. Yes, and Maureen, thanks for joining us. We were sending each other distance Reiki during that time, so that's why we were silent. And just to provide a little ambiance, I decided to pull up an app on my phone for some relaxing music. So, well, river sounds. Did that sound good at all, or was that awful over the microphone?
I didn't know what it was.
Oh, I know, because I just whipped it out on you in the middle of the meditation. Well, my assistant is here working beside me, preparing my class for Houston. So I thought, oh, it might be nice to cover up the computer clicks. But yeah, I kind of sprung it on you all.
No worries.
So, well, how did it sound?
It sounded like there was water running, and yeah,
That's what it was supposed to sound like.
like bubbly, like when you're underwater and the bubbles are going.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, so
Okay. All right. Well, I guess it worked.
yeah, all good.
Okay, well, thank you all so much for joining us. I hope you'll join us again next month. Usually it is the third Monday of the month at 7 p.m. Central, but can vary depending on my travel schedule. So if you get on my Reiki Call email list, which you can sign up for on my website, KarenHarrison.net, then I will let you know for sure when it is. I'm also starting something new, which is a texting program for my Reiki students and others that is offering some Reiki inspiration. So yes, Yolanda, did you get that first one that I sent out of me working out at the gym using Reiki?
You know what? I don't believe I did. I have been looking forward to that.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to have to announce it more places, and the database that I pulled from may not have had people's cell phone numbers. So if I didn't have your cell phone number, if I had an old phone number, then you're just not going to ever get it. But I can certainly update it. So
I was happy for the reminder because when I got the reminder, that's when I put it on my phone. So that was very helpful.
Good. Yeah. So I'll send out a reminder. And yeah, the first text that I sent out was about using Reiki for your workouts. And I sent out a picture of my daughter and me working out together in the gym. So I've got a number of Reiki inspirational things lined up to send out. So if you're interested in that, email me, Karen at KarenHarrison.net, with your name and phone number, and I will add you to my texting series. And in the future, I'll also be reminding people about Reiki Call by text, because a number of my students have said, well, I really want to be on it, but I may not see the email. And even if I did see the email, I've totally forgotten by 4 or 5 days later. So can you just send me a reminder? Like, okay, I need an automated way to do that. So now I have it. Okay, well, thank you all so much for joining us, and gasho and namaste and big hugs, Reiki blessings to you all, and see you next time. Yeah.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye. Thank you.